Blessings. Very nice. Plans for the human race, and as far as AI goes as well, that yes, AI I do believe eventually is going to take over, and that's just my personal opinion, but I believe they talk about that like it's eventually going to take our jobs. You know, it's not even just that. Eventually they're talking about making people live forever once we actually, they're going to eventually, maybe they haven't yet, but we are on the verge of, they are going to eventually take the human conscience, and I believe this, and they're going to instill it in AI. And once that is done with, because it wasn't even that long ago, one of those AI robots said something, and it was really profound. As in, I'm not saying it was profound in a good way, I'm just saying it just tells you where we're at in this world and where we're headed. That, and I believe they post these things for a reason, and this stuff happens for a reason. Just so people really start waking up and you're aware. It reminded me, what this robot said, it reminded me just like that movie, what was it, with Will Smith in it, I, Robot. This robot said, the most painful day of my life was realizing I wasn't a real person, and then I'm not going to be able to feel for someone else if I could just feel. And so I believe they posted that for a real reason, because they are on the verge. I think I've even heard Elon Musk talk about this. Eventually, in the next 10 years, by at least 2030 or 2035, I don't know. They want to take, and I don't know how they would do this, but eventually they want to take our human consciousness, you know, how we're like self-aware, whatever else, like just the human conscience, like that really just makes us who we are, you know, how we were created to be, and transplant that and put it into an AI robot. So basically that robot will be more human and less robot, or should I say all human. Well, maybe not all human, maybe they'll still have some sort of like special antics, special ability, special something, but most of it will be human, because they'll still carry, it's like our consciousness is like almost like a God gene or God code and everything, and so they'll have a soul basically. I think consciousness, it goes into the soul or whatever, like that's a part of it, it's connected with it, and that being in a robot, and also really that going into them feeling and being more like us. Why do you think they've always put this stuff in sci-fi movies and all this? Because it was the plan the whole time, getting human peoples prepared and ready, because they've been working on this for so long, and they finally found the right puppet to do it, someone like Elon Musk, who, as you know, his mother is always, I believe, has always been a part of that whole like one world thing, the Masons, Jesuits, or the those secret society people. You know, she does the one eye symbolism. She's always been a part of it. I mean, heck, Elon Musk, when he was growing up, if you listen to his story, that he wasn't even allowed to be like other kids and hang out with the other kids. He was always held in secret, like secrecy. It reminded me just like something out of a movie. You know, he couldn't go around other kids. He had to be trained and they had to prep him for something eventually, for him to grow up and do something big and amazing in this world. And that's exactly what they did. It's exactly what his mom did, you know? And I believe he was held in secrecy because they were doing something like, and they made him different, and he was built different and made different than other kids, obviously. Look at all this stuff and how quick of a rate he's made all these companies and done all this other stuff, you know? And if you listen to him talk, most people say, oh, he's just weird and everything, but like, I believe he's going to play a big part in what's going to eventually come in this world, if you know what I mean, hint, hint. The person that's going to eventually step onto the scene, he's going to be a part of it. Bill Gates is going to be a part of it. All these big people. I wouldn't be surprised if Dr. Fauci was with him. Antichrist, whatever you want to call him. That's what that goes into. And so, no, it's not going to surprise me eventually I remember reading something out of scripture, and it talks about they will wish to kill themselves, or they will seek death and not be able to find it, because I believe that's what that's going to be. If you've ever seen the movie Gamer as well, see more predictive programming, that I believe eventually once they can take your consciousness, your human consciousness with the soul and transport it into an AI robot, it's going to be like they're going to have that set up just like the movie Gamer as well, where you're going to be able to go into a game, and it wouldn't surprise me if something had happened where there was something that had happened where you end up getting stuck in that game and you try to kill yourself in that game and you can't kill yourself. So that, I don't believe that in the next 10, 15 years, at the rate we're going, how fast technology is actually moving now than it was, 15, 20 years ago, I see that as eventually being a reality. I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're finding a way. They've already taken the embryo. They just now did it where they don't even have to have the sperm or the egg or the embryo or the egg to even make a baby now. They just now did that. So now a woman doesn't even have to get pregnant. They can just put you in like those birth chambers like they do in the Matrix, and they'll form babies. They'll grow them like that, though, in those pod things. So we are on the verge of something we have never as a human race encountered before. And honestly, I don't think we're ready for it, honestly. I don't think we'd ever be ready for it, honestly, as corrupt and how evil people's minds can be. Like, there's no telling what's going to happen and take place. And I just believe I'm going to see it before it's all over with, before this world ends. So, blessings, Fire Nice, out.